What's going on, guys? PepperBelly here, bringing you something completely different from what I usually traditionally upload, which is usually first-person shooters or something of that nature. I'm actually showing you some flight simulator gameplay here. Well, simulator as in flying, not actually the flight simulator like Flight Simulator X, the Microsoft games. I'm talking, of course, about War Thunder. This is a game that was suggested by a subscriber of mine that goes by the name of One Phone Man. Contacted me through Steam, told me to check out this game, and I have not looked back ever since because it is quite impressive, and I'm really happy this game is in development right now. It's currently in beta stage. It's created by Gaijin Entertainment. I don't know exactly if that's how you pronounce it. It's a Russian studio that was established in 2002, and they have been making games for quite a while. They've made games like the Apache Air Assault, which was one of my favorites, that was played during demo. I haven't actually played the full game. The demo was really enjoyable, though. I made a video about it actually a long ass time ago as well, just showing one of my replays of my cool flying skills. Of course, they made IL-2 Sturmovik Birds of Prey as well, and they made Wings of Prey for the PC, which is essentially IL-2 Sturmovik Birds of Prey, identical to like it's the same damn game essentially, just on PC with a little bit more options for graphical fidelity stuff, you know, things like that, all cosmetically make you eye candy, kind of, you know, make you happy inside when you see how good the game looks. IL-2 Sturmovik Birds of Prey was actually one of the reasons why I even bought myself the Satec Aviator 08, I believe that's what it's called, one of the joysticks that works on the Xbox 360, because it was coming out on the Xbox 360, and they didn't even mention anything about PC at the time until afterwards when they released Wings of Prey, which I was furious, because I was like, if I would have just known that, I would have bought Wings of Prey in the first place on PC instead of renting the 360 version and realizing that the joystick and the dead zone and all that kind of stuff was kind of weird. So they have had a little bit of issues with past games. They weren't flawless. Now, I'm a huge avid flight simulator fanatic. You guys don't know that. You have no idea, because I've never told any of you, any of my subscribers or anybody in any video that I do that. Or I've grown up on flight simulators. I've actually played games like the F-22 Raptor, MiG-29 Fulcrum, F-16 multi-role. All these games are by Nova Logic, by the way, so they're kind of all by the same company. Just classifying different jets, Comanche Gold. There's a whole bunch of games I've just been obsessed with since like the past, and then of course there's a Flight Simulator 98 and Flight Simulator 2002 and 2004 and X, and you know, all these games that I used to play avidly. And then there was IL-2 Sturmovik 1946, which I still have on my Steam profile, and I actually really enjoyed playing that game. That game to me is the best IL-2 game to be created thus far, simply because it had the most realistic elements compared to this. As you can see, I just blew the shit out of that one guy and no problem. You know, just a few bursts and then boom, he combusts into flames. That was something, that was a feat to pull off in 1946 in IL-2. Like the older one, created by 1C Company, I believe it was. And that was actually like a very realistic game. There's a lot of avid enthusiasts that play flight simulators or anything, combat simulators, anything of the sort. Really, really liked IL-2 Sturmovik 1946 just because it's so much more fluid, so much more realistic. The damage model was insane. The fact that like you can shoot a pilot in the face and have him bleed out in the cockpit and you're slowly fading, controlling your aircraft as you're dying. Stuff like that. The fact that you can actually bail out if you have to open the canopy manually, you have to jump out of your plane manually, you have to do all that kind of stuff. It was super in-depth and very realistic, and there was none of this arcade like critical hit like you're seeing right there, like all these things popping up. It was just very, very simple but super realistic and very complicated. I played against actual pilots, which sometimes I shot them down. Thumbs up. But there was actually a pilot I knew that flew for the Marine Corps F-18s over in Iraq, and he is a huge, like, you know, he's obsessed with flight sims, obviously, because that's his passion, right? He likes flying. He's retired now, but obviously, you know, back when he did that kind of stuff, it was insane. And playing with him in this game, he actually was able to use real life, you know, techniques to actually destroy the shit out of us in game. And it just goes to show that obviously it translates very nicely from real. Obviously, it's different flying a fucking jet compared to a prop aircraft. No shit, that's the most obvious difference ever. A jet's like going Mach 2 and pulling G's up your arse, where a fucking prop plane's like slowly rotate at like 400 kilometers per hour, and like you're just significantly slower. But that's not the point. The point is that the game was realistic, and real pilots really liked it for its realisticness. Bam, there you go. IL-2 Birds of Prey kind of had more static damage models and stuff like that, things that weren't very realistic. It was kind of like, oh, you got shot in the right wing, it would always be the exact same looking damage model, kind of where IL-2 Sturmovik 1946 had varieties of different damage models. In fact, wherever the bullet would hit is exactly where you would see the decal, the impact, or the damage model or whatever, which was really nice. So this, War Thunder, is created by the same guys who made IL-2 Stormvic Birds of Prey and Wings of Prey. So obviously there's going to be a little bit of a kind of sketchiness feeling where you're kind of like, well, I'm kind of skeptical because I don't know if it's going to be arcadey like those games or it's going to be more realistic. Well, lo and behold, it's a significantly improved variant of IL-2. This is probably going to be their best game they've ever made to me. Hands down. This game looks phenomenal. The graphics, fucking great. Like, I actually have mine set on the movie setting, which is kind of funny because when you're hovering over it, it tells you not to have it set on the movie setting while playing in-game, and I'm thinking that maybe it was going to fry on my computer or something because it was going to look way too realistic. That they say to only use the movie setting whenever you're actually taking pictures and going and to do that kind of stuff, but I'm still playing the game at 60 frames per second, so over 60 you could see the freaking Marilla's action thing popping in and out, which I apologize for because it's incredibly annoying. It's glitching and acting all weird. I don't know why it was doing that. Seems to be a problem with this game in particular, that it starts flickering in the video, but you can even see when it flashes that I'm still running it at over 60 frames per second at some points, and it's like, this is their highest graphical setting, and I can actually set it higher, but I'm not going to because I'm kind of already at the limit here for what my performance could be to maintain 60, but regardless, the game looks fantastic, and their idea for this game is going to be kind of insane. Now, what I mean by that is that they're going to have an MMO variant similar to what PlanetSide 2 does, but just pretty much get rid of infantry, and it's going to be the same idea, except on a bigger, more realistic scale. They're going to have air combat, they're going to have land combat, and they're going to have sea combat. Sea combat, you know, like controlling battleships, destroyers, carriers, that kind of shit. Then you're going to have tanks for the ground, and you're going to have aircraft, kind of like you're seeing right now. It's pretty much going to be the standard aircraft style thing, which is kind of nice. And it's going to open up a huge door to some chaotic multiplayer gameplay. I mean, just doing this right now with the AI on the ground, which you will see in the next clip that's coming up whenever we're in Pinoy or some shit. I don't know. I just spit a word out. I don't even know what the fuck that means. I don't even think that's a place. But basically, you're going to see like a whole lot of flak and tracers and shit flying through the sky, and it just looks so cinematically amazing. And picturing that actually being players trying to shoot each other down and stuff, and actual guys on the ground with AA fucking guns and actual ships that players are controlling, it's going to be insane. Now at the moment, like I said, this is currently in beta, so they don't have the army and the naval aspects of the game quite ready yet. They're not available, so you can only fly. And just for you guys that want to know this, because it's kind of a crucial thing, the game is open to a huge array of options for flying. So if you guys love mouse and keyboard and you just don't give a shit about joysticks, Jesus Christ, I can't even talk. They have mouse and keyboard fidelity, you know, like great options, so your mouse and keyboard will be as fluent and comfortable for you as possible. They also have Xbox 360 controller support, which, so if you guys want to sit on your couch, you know, chill back and play on a nice 50-inch plasma or something, or LED or LCD, whatever the fuck you want, you're going to have very fluid controls, and it's going to feel smooth, it's going to feel good. It's not going to feel like you're playing with a controller and you're going to be at a disadvantage. Everything feels good, and it's all up to player preference, obviously. Now, of course, they have a lot of joystick support as well, which kind of blew my mind, because I recently actually purchased myself the Logitech Extreme 3D Pro, and it's actually a pretty solid stick. I originally bought it for the intention of PlanetSide 2, because I was a planet, or I'm a planet, that's what I am. No, I'm a pilot, I fly for my outfit, that's kind of my main thing, but the joystick support in PlanetSide 2 isn't quite there, so I just decided to stick with mouse and keyboard because I do better with it. But also with the future release of Star Citizen, which is going to be a crazy space sim that's going to be kind of fucking sweet, and that's what I'm planning on getting that joystick for. Plus, I just wanted a new joystick, so fuck you, I don't need to validate my purchases to you. But yeah, I usually use the Microsoft Sidewinder, whatever, the Force Feedback 2, the new, or the older variant. I don't even think they made a new joystick. Microsoft hasn't made a joystick in forever because that was such a flawless stick back in the day. I don't even know why they would need to. But anyway, basically it has a ton of joystick support. All the joysticks I could possibly... I mean, you're scrolling through the list and it's going on forever. You're like, holy shit, there's so many joystick brands out there. What the fuck? And they have like support for all of it, which is nice. So if you guys want to play with your favorite joystick, they'll have default layouts for them as well, which kind of helps out. And then you can go into the options menu, you can tweak it. And they have a really nice thing about how they do that, is that when you go into the options menu, you can actually
it's kind of like calibrating your joystick, where it'll be like, what do you want this to be? Like, pitch up and pitch down, and you actually move your joystick to what you want it to be, and it'll automatically switch all the options to it, which is kind of nice compared to actually having to go in the options and scroll through the keybinds, which you can do that as well if you have preference for that. So there's a lot of diversity there, which caters to a lot of players, which is very, very appealing to a lot of people. Now, talking about the core game, so the game mechanics, everything that makes it function, the way it works. It's a free-to-play model game, so I haven't even mentioned that. That's kind of a crucial thing. It's free-to-play, and it works very similarly. If you guys are familiar with World of Tanks, it's almost identical. Like, it's pretty fucking similar in every single way, which is actually very good, because I like the World of Tanks mentality, the way they went about doing the free-to-play model. It actually works very well, so it's not going to be like, you go in there, you can purchase the best plane in the world, and you're good to go. That's not how it works. Literally, you have to level up your player per country, so that's another big factor there. There's actual individual countries you can choose of. There's obviously the Russians, the Americans, the British, Japanese, Taiwanese. That's, I don't know, I'm just throwing fucking stupid names out there. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of countries you can choose from. You have to level up your, you know, your level, I guess, your character, even though you have different pilots for different aircraft, but you have to level up each country essentially to be able to unlock any aircraft or vehicles or whatever it is you want to get from them, which is kind of good. It's very good, because you're not going to have people that can just go in there and pay to win stuff, right? Even if you want to buy an aircraft, you have to still have the level to unlock it, which is very nice, because people aren't going to be able to just take advantage of spending money and winning at things. You have to actually put in your time with shitty aircrafts before you can do good. Even right now, I'm flying this default P-26, whatever the fuck it's called. It's a piece of crap. Turns like shit. Can't even destroy anything. It has an optical sight that's magnetic. It's magnified. I don't even know why. I mean, I'm trying to shoot down people 2 feet in front of me. I don't need a goddamn magnified, like, times 300 scope. Like, it's just, it's stupid. It's a really pain in the ass to fly this thing when you're going up against guys who have, like, Spitfires and shit, and they're shooting you down. Like, that's my point. There's a lot of aircraft that you can actually get and unlock. And the way it works is exactly like World of Tanks, where you start off with your country, your trait, or your specific aircraft that you're flying, and you actually have to unlock aircraft as you purchase them. So you can't just unlock the latest one at the bottom of the tree. You have to unlock all the ones previous to that aircraft before you can actually get to the very last one and purchase it, which is kind of cool. I actually really appreciate that, how they did that in this game. It's very similar to World of Tanks, that's what I'm saying, and it'll make it a lot more dynamic, and people actually have to, you know, you see what plane you want, you have to fly the planes previous to that plane to earn it, which is kind of nice, opposed to just being able to get it out front for whatever the fuck reason, whether you buy it or whatever. And it's very nice in the sense that they did that. Now, they have another mechanic in this game too, which relates to specifically firing your weapons and shooting at guys, which basically, whenever you're shooting at people, you have an ammo counter. Instead of having it so you have to go back and reload by landing at your airfield or some shit, to get really hardcore. I'm pretty sure they will have that for higher difficulties, which I'll get into in a bit. But at the moment they have it so you simply just have to fire off all your ammo and then wait like a 20-second or 30-second threshold cooldown, essentially, until it eventually like reloads your cannons, and then you're good to go again. So if you're in a firefight and if you're in a dogfight, you're chasing some guy down and you run out of ammo, just try to stick with them as best you can for the 20 seconds that it'll take to reload your cannons, and then you're good to go again and start peppering them with some more juicy lead and make them crash into the ground and die and stuff, which is just cool. Ugh, this game is great. I mean, this game is going to be huge. I hope it succeeds. This game, the mentality and the idea and the ambition behind this game is kind of huge and very appealing. So I don't even know. Like, I don't know if you're looking at this. This looks fucking sick. This looks like Battlefield 3, but like World War II style, and we're flying only aircraft, and there's flak going off everywhere, and tracers, and just all kinds of shit happening at once, and picturing that eventually it's going to be all players doing this just blows my mind. It's gonna be fucking sweet. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty stoked for this game. I've got my eye on it, and I really thank that guy for showing me this and linking me to this game, because this looks promising. But getting on to the other thing I was going to mention, which is difficulty. Basically, they're going to have separate game modes. So when you click to battle, which is similar to how World of Tanks works, you just go like, oh, I want to go fight, and you press the battle button. Works the same way, except this time they have realistic battles, arcade battles. This is arcade battle right here, which is literally no relevance to factions or countries at all. So you can use any airplane, any aircraft, anytime, anywhere, whatever, it doesn't matter. And it's purely objective, like destroy the enemy's airfield or sink their ships, or simply domination style stuff where you have to capture airfields and hold them for as long as you can, stuff like that. Now, they also have the realistic field. So they have realistic battles, which is basically battles that happen in real life. Simple as that. The one they have in the beta right now is basically Russia versus Japan. I haven't actually been able to get into it yet because I'd be in a queue for like fucking 30 hours waiting for it to like put me in, and it wouldn't because there's not a lot of people playing it. There's about 1,000 or something like that. Like, there's quite a bit, but not enough to get me in. Plus, all the servers are in Russia, so I guess it's going by ping, because no matter where you are in the queue, you kind of get screwed over anyway, because like it'll be like, oh, you're the second person in the queue. Suddenly, you're the 50th. What? Whatever, it doesn't really work for me. Then they have the real-time battle, which I'm assuming is going to be like, there's a starting to the battle, and it lasts for hours, and people have to like actually go do missions and get squadrons of aircraft and stuff that do very specific things. And I'm hoping that they'll have something which will separate the difficulty levels, because I think they do, because they have difficulties you can choose from, which is like arcade style, and then which you don't have to really worry about blacking out and all that kind of stuff, and the really aerodynamics of an aircraft and the way it handles and dealing with wind and all kinds of shit. And then they have realistic, and then they have simulator. Simulator forces you to the cockpit. You can't change your cockpit view, and it's incredibly realistic to the point where like you can actually overstress your aircraft and all that kind of stuff. Just makes it as realistic as possible. And hopefully they'll have servers just like that for people that really want the authentic experience, instead of having, as you can see, names showing me where all the enemy aircraft is and stuff like that. And I can actually change my view to this to take advantage of the fact that the cockpit is obstructing my view of shooting at people. I can just switch to this view and destroy the hell out of the opposition, which is kind of like, to me, is like cheating and cheap as hell, because, I mean, whenever you want to play authentic and use the cockpit, other people are doing this and taking advantage of it, and they're screwing you over, which is hopefully what I'm hoping they'll separate the two different styles of play between servers and the way that you want to go about doing so. Because for those that like I just said, that like playing in the cockpit view, get destroyed by those who take advantage of, you know, free looking or third person and get more field of view and stuff like that, which would be something else I'd like to see this game at. I don't even know if a flight simulator game has ever done it, or any aircraft style game actually had a field of view slider for your cockpit view. That'd be something kind of nice to be able to like see more on your screen. That way you don't have to turn your head so much, which is a pain in the ass. What I typically do is I use my mouse to look around. So you click the middle mouse button, I fly with my left hand while I look around, which is obviously I fly with my right, because especially the Logitech Extreme 3D Pro is a right-handed joystick, but I compensate like that because I really hate the whole fucking, you look either to the right, you look left, or you look straight up, or you look on an angle. Like, I hate that shit. I hate having to actually like look specifically in certain areas. I prefer having the ability to free look, kind of like you're using an analog stick, or kind of like you're turning your head in real life. You're not going to like whip your head all the way to the right and look, you know, just all the way to the left and look just left. That's not how it works. You're going to rotate your head, you know, the way you would do so in real life. Slowly and precisely, not, you know what I'm talking about though. Kind of like a first-person shooter, but in a cockpit, essentially. Yeah, that's how it works. But anyway, yeah, that's this game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because there's like ton more footage I could show you guys, but I think I want to leave it at, you know, where it is right now and not make more videos, because, you know, the world ends tomorrow, so who really cares, right? Ugh, that's just, you know, we're all gonna die, man. We're all gonna die. It's gonna suck. Bullshit. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to rate the video, comment the video, and subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Take care, guys.